Today's video is about academic honesty, specifically about understanding plagiarism and academic conduct for graduate students. This video is for both graduate students who have a lot of recent experience being in the academic setting, as well as students who are returning to graduate school for the first time in a longer while. This video was recorded by the TAMIU Graduate School and the Advanced Research and Curriculum Grant Program, which is dedicated to helping graduate students at TAMIU. For more information on our departments, see the end of the video. Thank you. What do graduate students want to know about academic honesty and dishonesty? Whether you're straight out of undergrad or you're a returning professional, there are some things about being a graduate student that you may have questions about. It's perfectly normal to have these questions, especially in a world that is becoming increasingly complicated. This video will cover all of the following questions. Why is it important to continue to have conversations about plagiarism? What is proper citation use, and why is it important? How does TAMIU check for plagiarism? What kinds of plagiarism are there? How do I avoid plagiarism? What happens if I am accused of plagiarism? TAMIU students are all held to a high level of academic integrity, and graduate students, as the highest level of students, are expected to be representatives of the university. Take this excerpt from the TAMIU Graduate Student Handbook on Ethics. Texas A&M International University graduate students should recognize that they represent their intellectual community in a special way. Our institution's reputation depends on what our graduate students achieve and upon how they conduct themselves. The university expects graduate students to conduct themselves in accord with principles appropriate to mature and rational individuals. To this end, it is important that all TAMIU graduate students become aware of the most common cause of academic dishonesty: plagiarism, both intentional and unintentional. There are more than 3 types of academic dishonesty, but these are 3 of the most common types: cheating, using outside materials or methods to get an advantage; collusion, acting together to cheat as a group; plagiarism, using sources without citing them correctly, or using another person's ideas as your own. The most important thing to know about plagiarism in graduate writing is that it often happens because of mistakes or misuse of citations and sources. Almost every writing assignment at the graduate level will either ask you to or expect you to use the latest citation styles. Expect to cite at the graduate level. Most graduate courses that involve writing will use an academic style in one of the most common types, such as APA, MLA, or Chicago. You need to cite ideas that come from somewhere outside of yourself, whether using direct quotes, paraphrases, or summaries. If you're completely unfamiliar with citations and styles, visit the ARC writing consultant. What do citations have to do with ethics? Why is proper citation use good? It allows us to thank those who have come before us. It differentiates our thinking from others. It helps readers find where to look for our sources. It makes us credible as scholars. It demonstrates our understanding of research skills and sources. How does TAMIU check for plagiarism? TAMIU uses Blackboard and Turnitin to check submitted assignments against previously submitted writing assignments from all around the internet. Turnitin checks the whole document for in-text citations, bibliography citations, paraphrased, summarized, and directly quoted ideas. Be aware of the Plagiarism Pyramid. There are different levels of plagiarism. At the top, there are errors in citation mechanics. These are the most common kinds of academic plagiarism, but they are easily corrected. They involve missing something small, such as a quotation mark, incorrect page number, or something else that is easily fixed. Ignorance is the second level in the Plagiarism Pyramid. It involves not knowing how to use a source and not asking for help with that source. This is very common even for graduate students and is easily remedied by just asking for help with the citation. The third level in the Plagiarism Pyramid is laziness, which is often misattributed to students forgetting to include sources, and is easily fixed by always citing your sources. The final level in the Plagiarism Pyramid involves intentional deceit. This includes buying papers, getting someone else to write your paper, reusing your papers without professor permission, listing sources that are not cited in the bibliography or text, or misattributing the author's work. This final kind of plagiarism is the most serious because it cannot simply be passed off as a mistake. The best way to avoid plagiarism in all of its forms is to be aware of it. Here are some other tips on avoiding plagiarism. Use all your sources correctly. Give credit where credit is due. Represent your sources by being true to the author's meaning. And if it's in your bibliography, it needs to be used in your text and vice versa. It is recommended that you consult the latest citation guide, depending on which style is required for your class. The latest guides are available for graduate students at the Graduate Student Academic Success Center in Pellegrino 203. Other than writing, how do you avoid academic dishonesty? Steer clear of cheaters. Be wary of online group chats where students share quizzes or test answers. Do not let someone else write a part of a paper for you. If you see students engaging in academic dishonesty, you have a responsibility to speak up. What if I am accused of academic misconduct? If the university files a grievance against you for behavior or violation of the Code of Conduct, a hearing will be conducted by the TAMIU Honor Council, which upholds the Honor Code. This council makes recommendations of further action to the university provost. The university provost may take one of several actions, including probation, suspension, or expulsion from the student's program or from the university. For full details, see the TAMU Student Handbook 2020 to 2021, page 39. You're on your way to an ethical future with the TAMU Graduate School. Learn TAMU's expectations for academic honesty. Find out what kinds of sources and citation styles instructors want you to use. If you don't know how something works, ask for help or where to find resources. And visit your ARC writing consultant for help with any graduate writing needs. Thank you for watching. Be sure to contact our department with any concerns about academic honesty or writing.